All right. So, I think where to start off would be, how do you feel ADHD would affect you as a mother?
Oh my goodness. It makes it really hard. Just doing the day to day stuff, trying to keep up with everything that I need to do as an adult, and then everything that I have to do as a mom, like even just as simple as signing their folders that the school sends home every day and remembering to do that, or remembering to send in money for field trips without having to get a reminder from the teachers sent back to me in their folders, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, like now, them running in and out and stuff like that. And I've gotten pretty good to where if I'm doing something like on my phone, like I kind of have to ignore them, and then they get aggravated with me, and then I have to stop, and it's just a back and forth all the time with it. Even when I take my medicine,
Yeah. What are you taking?
I'm on Adderall,
Right.
30 milligrams twice a day.
How is that for you?
It's good. She started me off with 10 milligrams twice a day, and that just seemed like it didn't work or last long enough because I get up with the kids at 6:30 in the morning to get them to school by 7:30, and then I go to work and they come home. I'm on Adderall, 30 milligrams twice a day. She started me off lower, but I could tell that it wasn't working quite as long because I wake up so early and get my day going with the kids, and then by the time I get home about 6:15 after I pick them up from after school program, I still have everything else I need to do at home. So it was like it wasn't lasting me long enough to do everything that I have to do within one day period. So she upped it a little bit for
Mm.
me, and I kind of I'll break it in half if I feel like I need to. If right now we're at home during this quarantine thing, so I haven't been taking it as much
Right.
because it's easier to relax and stuff if I'm not taking it. But also I've been having to do my schooling online, so
Right.
that's also been a distraction with the kids running around and stuff like that. I kind of have to wait until they're asleep, and then I'm turning stuff in at 2 o'clock in the morning, and my professors have already said something about it, and I'm like, oh, me.
Yeah. You're working from home as well, are you?
I'm actually a hairstylist. I do hair, so I can't
Oh,
work from home. So right now, work is kind of on pause.
yeah.
They've shut down everything that's not a necessity, which includes hair
Yeah.
salons.
Yeah, it's really difficult. How long have you been diagnosed?
I got actually diagnosed when I was in middle school. I
Right.
remember I failed some tests that you have to take in order to go to the next grade. And I think that was when my mom took me to the doctor and actually got me put on medicine. And my friends even noticed a difference in me. And they would say, I hate when you take your medicine. You're not as fun. You don't talk as much, things like that. And I would tell my mom, I don't want to take it on the weekends because sometimes I like being dumb, which is a terrible way to think about it. But I never stayed on it either when I was younger, just because I didn't understand the positiveness that it kind of helped me in school and things like that.
When you say your friends said, "Oh, you're not fun anymore," do you feel like it flattened you out or dulled your
Yeah,
personality?
in the sense of like when we're at PE and they're wanting to talk and kind of hang out and conversate, I'm more in my own head thinking about things that I probably needed to be thinking about, ready to get in my next class, that kind of thing. Because when
Yeah.
I take my Adderall, it kind of puts me in like a absorb mode. It even does that with me now. um, I can take it and I either need to do something, I guess, that I feel like is productive, or I need to, get on the internet and just get hyper focused and absorb a bunch of information about something that probably has nothing to do with something that I'm actually supposed to be doing.
Mm, I know the feeling. What do you feel you struggle with the most?
Hmm. Procrastination, waiting until the last minute to do something because at that point it's more of a sense of urgency. I have a really hard time. For example, last night I had to turn in something for my English class and I had until 12 o'clock to do it. Well, I kept waiting and waiting and waiting because she gave it to us Friday. Um, and I waited until the last minute and then fell asleep and didn't turn it in.
Yeah, I've done
I
that
struggle
plenty of
with that a
times.
lot. I struggle with that a lot. That's with anything. If I need to clean up my kitchen, I'll wait until the last minute to where somebody's about to come over, or it's a big deal that I haven't done it, and I'll wait to
Yeah.
the last minute to actually, give myself the least bit of time to get it accomplished, and then
Mm.
get really annoyed with myself.
Yeah, I think um, the problem with this ADHD can blinds you in terms of time perception,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
a sense of urgency. So that's why you get tricked into thinking, oh, it'll be okay, when intellectually, that's not true
Oh
from
yeah,
experience.
because that's one of the things that I'll, get hyper focused on is learning about ADHD on YouTube, on the internet, reading things. Even when I wake up in the morning to get ready for work, I'm supposed to leave here at, let's say, 9:15. I will wait until like 9:10 to
Mm.
get up, and then I'm like, wetting my hair to try to scrunch it because that's like the least, thing that I can do to my hair to make myself presentable. And
Hello.
Scoot over, bud.
What are the kids like? Do you see it in them as well?
Hmm. This one right here is my little wild child. She, I think, because their father, my ex-husband, he also has ADHD, but he had the, hyperness part. I just have the more attention deficit.
Yeah.
She seems like she'll have it. Her folders from school almost daily, at least a few times a week, she'll get marks saying like, talking during instruction time, not following instructions, playing at lunch, playing during instruction time, and stuff like that. And I'm still trying to figure out, girl, trying to figure out how to handle it.
She wants some
I guess.
airtime. Is it just you looking after them then?
Yes, single mom.
Must be quite hard with ADHD especially.
Oh yeah. I have no one else to be able to kind of put the responsibility on while I have to take care of my things. It's kind of I have to do it all at one time.
Hmm.
That's why the quarantine stuff and they canceled school. That's what made it so difficult because I was supposed to go to school in the mornings from like 8 to 1, and then be able to go to work and get clients in that way, and then pick up the kids from after school program.
Hmm.
But this has made it to where I'm having to log on to my computer at 8 o'clock in the morning. The kids wake up like 30 minutes later, and I'm
Yeah.
carrying my computer all around the house and making breakfast and trying to listen at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's an important part of this discussion actually, because this particular situation is very unique and it's really going to make it harder to stay organized and structured.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you use like calendars and specialized routines or anything like that, but I think it's really important for people with ADHD, especially if you've got children, to follow some kind of like structure.
Yes, and that's always been very difficult for me. I've bought so many planners in my life with the stickers and trying to follow different groups on Facebook that are all into planning and planners. And just now I got one at Walmart a couple weeks ago, and I've been trying to use that like daily and write everything in it. And I've been doing pretty good with it now. But I think it's because it's more, I'm in the house and I'm able to keep up with it.
Mm.
I feel like quarantine has actually maybe helped me with that specifically because I'm not having to have it in my car and put it in a bag and take it to my room and have it at work and that kind of thing. I'm
Mm.
so bad at losing things.
Yeah, I think there is some benefit because now we're actually forced to stay home. So I suppose it could give you the opportunity to learn to improve on your skills, things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
also brings you closer to your kids as well. So there is some benefit.
Yeah. And earlier when you're mentioning if I didn't think either one of them, have any symptoms, Anna Grace, she's only 4, and I know that's too early to diagnose, but like I was telling you, with her folders every day, they send things and said that she can't focus during instruction time and always get in trouble for kind of playing, but it's not like she has bad behavior. She
Mm.
just can't concentrate like they want her to.
Right, yeah.
So I've written a note and asked if they think maybe she's been showing signs of attention deficit or ADHD, and the teacher's kind of more passive on it. She's like, I think she's too young. We just need to figure out how to, get her to listen. And I'm like, oh, you make it sound so easy.
Yeah, it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah. And then my son Liam, he's 7, and he has a lot of anxiety. And I've noticed that since he was younger. I had a meeting with his teacher maybe a couple weeks ago before school got out, and we were talking about like his reading and stuff.
Did we cover your childhood, like what you noticed that were signs?
I told you about middle school. Started taking it because I failed a test that was supposed to take me to the next grade. And then I got put on medicine.
Yeah, so you were behind, you kept behind in school.
Yes, I failed
Yeah.
the 7th grade, and I actually was about to fail the 10th grade, but then I ended up dropping out because I knew I wanted to do hair at that point in time.
Mm. Are you primarily inattentive?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never had the hyperness. I mean, all through school, I had perfect conduct. Um, I was almost a teacher's pet in some cases because I was very sweet and,
Mm.
respectful and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's apparently more common in women to be inattentive. As you see that stereotype with boys being hyperactive. I think that's a lot of the reason why it's missed. So people will go undiagnosed because they don't display that outward hyperactivity, but it'll happen internally, I find, with
Yes,
I
I
mean,
wasn't.
what about your habits? Do you have any issues with like or have you had any issues with substance abuse or sleep, things like that?
Yes, maybe not substance abuse. Um, where I'm from, I live in Augusta, Georgia, and I've been around a lot of people in situations to where there's like addicts or people who do have substance abuse problems. I'm 27, almost 28 in like a week, but even people my age for as long as I can remember. I remember even in middle school, people would ask me for my Adderall, and I'm like, no, I need
Ah,
this. It's fine. Like this
yeah,
is
because they
gold
do
for
it.
me.
They abuse it, don't they? A lot of people,
Yes, because it's
students.
amphetamine.
Yeah,
So, and I think a lot of people learn from their parents and stuff like that. If their parents are more likely to abuse things, and I've had, like addicts and stuff like that in my family, but for some reason, I've never been addicted to anything. I don't know how that works or how my brain is different in that way. But like my dad was alcoholic and stuff like that, and I've just never had the tendency. I have, probably tried to use my Adderall to compensate for the craziness in my life
right.
sometimes. Like when I do feel like I need to have that little bit of extra time at night, and then I'll, not be able to sleep, and then I still have to get up the next morning. And then it's kind of like that'll turn into a cycle for a little bit, but it
Mm.
never gets bad or anything like that. If you ask me, I don't think it does.
Well, that's
I,
fortunate, you know.
yeah, I've never struggled with using anything else or anything.
Yeah, because you said you sometimes feel you need to be on something when the Adderall gets out of your system. Is that not kind? You don't get any kind of feeling tired or
Oh yeah,
dysphoria.
yeah. When I don't have my Adderall, it is really, really hard to function lately. I kind of almost don't remember what it felt like before I took it every day, twice a day. But recently, my last prescription was probably 2.5 weeks ago, and somebody has stolen it out of my car. I'm not
Wow.
sure how that happened at all. I've freaked out a little bit about that, and I haven't had it to take it. So being home and you know not having to go to work, I guess that's the best time it could have happened. And it's spring break, so I don't have school for a week.
Mm.
But it's been really hard to just get up and get going and
Yeah.
paying attention to things.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, I think I'm feeling a little bit not quite myself, today. I took it early, so after a while, I noticed the difference, I think, yeah, I was going to talk something like that. Crashes. Do you experience that with it?
Not really. I don't think an actual like crash. I don't think I've ever really experienced.
No tolerance. You've ever had issues with like it not working anymore?
Oh, yes. I do have it like the tolerance. I don't know if it's because I have a fast metabolism. I've always been small. Everybody's always gotten on to me about it because I can eat whatever I want and I just stay the same size. So I think maybe when I take the medicine, it just metabolizes really fast because I can take it and then I feel like it lasts a couple hours and it's gone again.
Yeah,
That's why she upped me to 30 milligrams twice a day
twice a
because
day.
she
Yeah,
said I can kind of break it up and take it as I kind of need it. Not really like 30 milligrams at once, twice a
yeah.
day. Sometimes I'll, break it in half and I kind of maybe it's like 15 4 times a day.
Are you allowed to break it in half?
It's a
Is that
tablet.
yeah?
She gave me permission to do that.
Oh, yeah. Because I've done that before when I didn't technically tell my doctor, and but I did that with methylphenidate, so I shouldn't have done that.
Well, does it makes like a difference when you do
I
it?
think yeah, it just messes with the way it releases. in your body. So the side effects were a lot more noticeable, I think, when I did that.
Well, I really like Vyvanse. I've tried it before, but here they don't have a, what do you call it? Not off-brand, but generic. They don't have a
Generic,
generic
yeah.
form of it yet here, and it is hundreds of dollars if you don't have insurance, which I do not have
Really?
insurance. I already pay out of pocket $100 just to go see my psychiatrist, and I've finally gotten to where she only wants to see me every 3 months instead of every 8 weeks, which also the 8 weeks was her giving me a break because it should have been every 4 weeks.
Right.
And then I pay full price for my prescription. So I can't afford to do Vyvanse. And even the Adderall extended release that I want to try also costs more. So that's why she's allowed me to kind of break up the tablets because it saves me money because I don't have insurance.
What's it like with the pharmaceutical industry considering the lockdown? Can you get easily access your medication?
Yes, the all of the Walmarts and all of the like CVS and Walgreens, which are all of our drugstores, they're still open and they're operating.
Right.
Well, if you have to have a psychiatrist or whatever, if you have to have your appointment, they're just doing it over the phone.
Okay.
So it's not making it to where you don't have access to even the appointment to be able to get the prescription refilled.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Is there anything you'd like to add, in general?
When you were asking about the kids, I was saying that I think Anna Grace has ADHD, but Liam, he's the one that has more anxiety. And when I spoke to his teacher, she said that I keep saying she said that he is more, not focused in class. He's great. He's smart. He just, when he's in his desk, he's paying attention to anything else except the teacher, whether it's an eraser or he's just playing with his hands and things like that. So I'm thinking that he might be more like me and just have the attention deficit versus the hyperness.
Yeah, sounds
Because
like it.
he gets really upset over things if, they're not what he's expecting or
Yeah.
in order, because I think he knows that he needs a certain structure to like be able to function, which means he's more mature than me already. So he's like the grown up. It's crazy.
Interesting. Okay, well, it's been about half an hour. I like to keep it short. So, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Well done in general.
Thank you. All
Bye
right.
bye.